I know where we can go. I know where we can go. And it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Come get lost with me. 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 Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You make me move. Can make me move. You make me move. Can make me move. Make it last forever. Stop in time. Yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight. Chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move.
Throughout the centuries, maritime trade has been the largest contributing factor to the economic growth of the nations of the world. For hundreds of years, seafaring peoples such as the Polynesians, Arabs, Indo-Malays, and the Chinese have crossed the seas in search of new lands to establish trade with, as well as create new settlements for their people. The arrival of the Europeans in Asia contributed greatly to the expansion of maritime trade, bringing with them the larger seaborne vessels and the highly disciplined merchant marine. Until today, both developed and developing countries in the world rely heavily on a highly skilled merchant marine alongside an efficiently managed maritime trade. Over 85% of global trade is carried by sea, and the demand for highly skilled and disciplined merchant sailors and officers continues to soar as merchant fleets expand to meet the ever-rising needs of the world to carry its trade. In light of the world's growing need for qualified maritime personnel, the Asian Institute of Maritime Studies, or AIMS, was chartered on August 13, 1993. From its humble beginnings under the dynamic leadership of its founder, Captain Wilihado Apuig, AIMS has steadily gained repute as one of the country's leading maritime colleges. Alongside an academic staff of 13 educators and merchant marine officers, Captain Abuid chartered the course of AIMS with the vision of expanding and enhancing maritime services. Since then, AIMS has expanded to accommodate over 2,000 students, including some who hail from distant shores. Both Filipino and foreign students alike benefit from the close and caring guidance and tutelage of a larger faculty and support personnel, staffed with highly qualified and capable instructors. AIMS began its mission by adopting a strong values-based curriculum, as well as developing courses and training programs highly relevant to the maritime trade industry. The academic programs accredited by the Commission on Higher Education includes BS Marine Transportation, BS Marine Engineering, BS Customs Administration, BS Computer Science, BS Business Administration with majors in Marketing and Maritime Management, Hotel and Restaurant Services.
Our Center for Advanced Studies offers a Master in Maritime Administration with specializations in Maritime Education, Training and Certification, Shipboard Administration, Shipping and Ship Manning Business, Port Safety and Environmental Protection, and Logistics, Customs and Tariff Administration.
The success of AIMS in providing quality education is reflected in the fact that the majority of its graduates consistently achieve high ratings in the professional examinations every year. As dynamic as its founder, AIMS is steadily upgrading its facilities and acquiring new equipment and technology to provide hands-on training that improve the knowledge and skills of its constituents. Over the years, AIMS has risen to the forefront among maritime educational institutions, constantly revitalizing and updating its academic programs and setting higher goals and standards for the maritime industry to follow. As an indication of its adherence to its commitment to excellence and quality education, AIMS has been awarded a Quality System Certification of ISO 9001-2000 standards by the prestigious American Bureau of Shipping.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our very first webinar this year. We hope that you have a very productive day. And today, we dive into the maritime education and what 2021 has in store for professional seafarers, current and aspiring maritime students as well. And likewise, are you all ready for tonight's event? Comment down below what you expect from this event, or you may comment your year level and your school to show us that you are ready. And don't forget to use the hashtag Seaversity. Likewise, stay tuned until the end of our program for our Q&A portion. We'll answer your questions by our industry experts themselves. And without further ado, let's begin. But before we proceed to our guest speaker, let me show you first, or let me announce or show you what Seaversity has to offer for 2021. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening. And my name is Engineer Premi Ibeas. Likewise, here I present to you our latest product, the Seaversity AR version 2 with a platform named as Toolbox. But before I present the changes that we developed, here is the features that our version 1 has to offer. Well, initially, it provides a description of the machinery or equipment and is complete with a voiceover that gives emphasis not just on visual learners but as well as auditory learners. It also has labeled parts for engineering and navigational specifics for a deeper familiarization of parts, an exploded view, and animation for a complete 3D visuals for familiarization. 3D mode for a more specific and isolated visuals of the components, the AR mode for a more realistic visuals of the components, and of course, it comes alongside with an assessment that will serve as a formative exam to measure the learning experience of the user. There is also distinct change in the infrastructure of the system, wherein what you see right now is a basic collaboration between the student and instructor with the augmented reality application being utilized as their supplement only. And that was the functionalities of our version 1. Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the augmented reality technology with our Seaversity AR version 2. All right. Wait. Okay. Hello? Pandig ba ako dyan, Renz? All right. And I hope you like the video. And to further explain what does the new application has to offer, here as a quick run through of its new features. Well, first, the first one will be the infrastructure. This structure produces a more efficient usage and collaboration between our team, the school admin, educators, and learners using the application with the help of our newly developed platform. To put it simpler, we have included and emphasized the solution for the needs of not only the student, but the institution as a whole, in terms of maximizing the learning experience by a modern education. Along with this is the platform or what we call the toolbox that serves the purpose of tracking the usage, the performance and output of each user, which gives the educators a whole overview of the user, application, functionalities in the whole system itself. Now let me show you how the school administration may utilize the system. The school administrator will be given an account, and after logging in, they will see the dashboard shown on the screen right now, and this, which shows the simplified function of the dashboard that is needed by the educators during the conduct of learning to complete, and it is complete with the setting for the courses, branding, filters, and assessment itself. And to further explain, administrator will be given access to conduct course management within the system. What you see on the screen right now is the course management page, which shows all the available courses in the system that is aligned with the need of the students. Or in summary, this page allows the administrators to freely choose what courses can each student access. The school admin update asset bar, or also known as the branding page, also is also existent that provides the function that lets the school administrator calibrate the system and application to their own branding. It also has the assessment bar, also known as the assessment page, which lets the educators upload their own assessment and view the recorded result of the assessment that are taken by the student. For the student view, of course, the students will be given a link from the school administrators. That link will redirect them to a registration page, thus giving the students their own personal account. After which, they are then redirected to their dashboard that will show, 1, the details of the assessments that they have taken, and a QR code is also shown that has a link to the application located at the Play Store for immediate download, or after scanning using their phone, the students will be redirected to the application itself if the application is already installed in their mobile phones. And for the AR application, after opening the application, students will be prompted on the login, and after logging in, he will then be redirected to the course section where he can see the available courses assigned by the school administration. Each course can be downloaded individually and be utilized via DLC or downloadable content. Each course shall then have the different functions, such as overhauling simulation, which lets the students have a complete control of on the face of the disassembly, and let the students have a complete 3D visualization of the whole component and its parts. And of course, the learning experience can also be measured via the mobile web assessment system that is included in the features of this mobile application. And to put it simpler, the difference between the Seaversity AR version 1 and version 2 is as shown on the screen right now. For the version 2, it has additional functionalities of access to web platform, the toolbox itself, a web assessment system, the user authentication, overhauling animation, the downloadable content or DLC, integration between web and AR, online and offline modes, and object highlights. Likewise, we have just released the courses Sim 6, Sim 4, O21, O22, Leto 3, Mac 3, the web platform app last January 2nd week, and this week we will be releasing the Electro 1, Drawing 1, Mar Power, Met 01, and other web platforms updates. And to give a summary of the vision that we would like to summarize the vision that we would like to show everyone, we are now we are providing the service and products of digitized entrance examination, academy automation integration, the learning management system, the ETRB or the electronic training record book, an immersive training assessments, and of course the digital credentials blockchain. And that will be all. Back to you, Renz. And before we proceed to our second, to our first guest speaker, ladies and gentlemen, let's go first to an icebreaker. Our icebreaker will be composed of 4 picks and 1 word. Please show the image, tech team. For the first part of our icebreaker, what you see right now is 4 photos that answers the question, what do you call a computer-generated graphics to create a virtual world? You have 5 seconds to answer. What do you call a computer-generated graphics to create a virtual world? The answer is virtual reality. How about another one? Let's try this another one. Ladies and gentlemen, proceed. Let's tech team. And what you see right now, the 4 photos on the screen right now is described as, or has the clue, last September 2020, Facebook announced its newest virtual reality headset, which doesn't require a computer to run. What is the name of this product? Once again, you have 5 seconds to answer. You may comment your answer down below. I'll say it again. Last September 2020, Facebook announced its newest virtual reality headset, which doesn't require a computer to run. And what is the name of this product? Bali, this headset is a standalone device that does not require a personal computer. Okay, tech team, what's the answer? The answer is Oculus Quest 2. All right, now let's proceed to our guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first guest speaker. He is the president of Oceanwide Maritime Services Corporation, a Juris Doctor, an underwater surveyor from Marina, a maritime security instructor, a maritime security auditor, a marine pollution surveyor, a drive instructor of CMAS, and currently taking up a master's degree in maritime education training at PMA. And today, he will tackle what Oceanwide offers to its trainees and what they plan on improving this 2021. Stay tuned for more and hear valuable tips and trainee life hacks from the expert himself. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Anthony Sibilia. Nakamit ka, sir. Mr. Anthony, sir, nakamit ka po.
Yes,
All right.
good evening, everyone. Thank you,
Um,
Sir Prime, for that wonderful introduction. So, how do we begin?
all right. Sir, before pala, magandang gabi sa inyo, sir. Kumusta po sa Cebu, sir?
Yes, okay lang dito sa Cebu. Although the rising case of COVID, there is a rising case of COVID, but everybody is vigilant. Ika nga, kung hindi talaga, if you will not put against the wall, you will not do something about it. So, luckily, and all of the Cebuanos here are cooperative with the government, of course.
Alright, maraming salamat, sir. Sir, halimbawa po pala, tanong ko lang, okay na po ba yung travel guidance sa Cebu if ever gustuhin ng mga viewers natin or gustuhin ng team ko na punta ng Cebu to taste their lechon or sumama sa inyo mag-diving?
Yes. Right now, we have as of now we have stricter border restrictions because now of the rising COVID cases. But what the government, especially the IATF, is suggesting is to have a granular lockdown as of now because although alarming, but not as alarming as before. Na ika nga, hindi pa natin alam. Although right now, hindi pa nga natin alam kung ano man yung we are fighting an invisible enemy. But let's just be vigilant. Wear your mask, wear your face mask, and wear your face shield. Maghugas ng kamay, and all those safety protocols na ginagawa natin.
Alright, maraming salamat po. Sir, last question before you start presenting. Sir, can you give us a brief information ko ano yung ipapakita niyo sa amin ngayong gabi? Yung general overview lang po.
Yeah, sure.
Sige po, sir. Sir, yung tanong ko lang po is can you explain, sir, kung ano po yung general overview na i-present ko sa amin ngayong gabi?
So, right now, I'll be presenting what our institution or Oceanwide has done to adapt with the drastic change of our educational measures here in the Philippines. And the second part, I'll try to answer what our strategy, what we have done, what we have strategized to do to improve the delivery of quality education for this year, despite the pandemic. And thirdly, I can give some tips and advice for those incoming maritime students. Just a few, although alam na natin, but I'll try to tackle it if I can encourage or I can give some hope for our incoming maritime students.
Alright, maraming salamat, Sir Sibilia. Bale, guys, to the viewers, if meron kayong tanong, you can comment the questions down below. Please put the hashtag Seaversity or mention your schools or yung training institutions na gusto niyo mention. And likewise, simulan na natin, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mr. Anthony Sibilia.
So, right now, the current pandemic has put everyone into a whirlwind of emotions. Companies, especially educational institutions who are not ready of this situation, are in the brink of financial losses. And in fact, some sad to say that some of the training centers and schools are already in the brink of financial losses. But ika nga, let's give hope and let's continue on hoping that there will be a bit better tomorrow than what we have right now. Next slide, please. So what has your institution done as of 2020 to adapt to the drastic change of educational measures in the Philippines? So right now, here at Oceanwide, we have envisioned, even before the pandemic, a learning platform accessible to anyone, anytime and anywhere, to any seafarer who needs it. So that's why we had some agreement with Seaversity as one of our IT provider, e-learning provider for this strategy. And next slide, please. So e-learning platform has been incorporated in our learning modalities. If you try to check our website, if you try to check also our Facebook, you can see that fortunately for us, although not all, fortunately for us, it has slowly picked up the e-learning education. Next slide, please. So as you can see, we have been also providing blended learning, both face-to-face and online. When you say blended learning, you have partly stay online and partly you have face-to-face education, where we cater trainees who have difficulty in logistics but still adhering to Marina mandate and IATF guidelines as a whole. So those are the safety protocols being mandated. Now, for your information, we training centers, including the maritime education, are only allowed 50% capacity of our classrooms. So that's why, fortunately for Marina, they did something that they allowed blended learning so that we can cater at least 50% capacity online. And then the rest of the days, you can come here for face-to-face training. So that would lesser the risk of getting the virus, the COVID virus. So, and we are very proud to say that we are one of the first few training centers who have been granted authority to conduct this kind of training amidst the pandemic. Next slide, please. Second, what will be the institution's strategy to further improve the delivery of quality education this 2021? Has your institution made further improvements? To answer this one, education and training are limitless. We are always aiming to continuous growth to always give the quality education and training our seafarers deserve. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thus, our plan is to aim that we would be the very first maritime training in the Philippines to conduct full online STCW courses for our seafarers. So that's our main aim for this year. Because right now, Marina is only allowing blended learning, where in the end part, we have our students or our seafarers have to go to come to our school for our face-to-face training. So they're still in an online, partly online and partly face-to-face. So hopefully, for this year, our aim is to have a full online STCW courses so that students doesn't need to come here face-to-face, but we can conduct it purely online. Next slide, please. So what advice would you give to our maritime students? Let me see. So we have the whole world to dream. Well, ika nga, the world is your oyster. Ano ba yung saying na yan? So you aim bigger goals. Take every situation as an experience for learning. Ika nga, success is not defined by how many times you fall. It is always defined by how many times you stand up every time you fall. Your hard work and sacrifices will soon be paid off. I tell you. So trust yourself. And lastly, next slide, please. Because this, as they said, nothing stays the same because change is inevitable. In short, in Visayan terms, walay forever. Walay forever. So we have to be dynamic to be constant. Natawa na si Sir Prime. And let me end up with the quote, with the saying from the movie Gladiator. Always remember that what we do in life echoes through eternity. So do good, and in the end, it will end up to be good. Thank you, and I hope nakuha nyo. Thank you so
Maraming
much.
salamat. Maraming salamat, Sir Anthony. Bye,
Smiling
ladies
Sir
and
Prime,
gentlemen. Nakakatawa, sir, yung wife forever, sir.
Walang forever. Oh, walang forever. Sabi ko, walay forever. Yan.
So, ayun, ladies and gentlemen, a professional has spoken himself na wala nga daw po talagang forever. According to his statement, ladies and gentlemen. Kaya sa lahat ng single dyan, magbunyi tayo. Walang tatagal magjowa.
Ay, nako. Parang ang palaya bitter yun, ah.
Walang matatagal magjowa, sir. Diretso asawa yan.
Ano
So,
rin
ngayon,
sa
sir,
yun.
yes
Maganda
po,
yan.
sir. Kasi karamihan ng classmates ko as of this moment is nagpapakasal na. And, actually, may kaklase ko, a classmate of mine, went to a city hall. Na-inquire lang paano sila ikakasal. And then, pagbalik sa bahay nila, kasal na sila. So,
Yun
that
lang.
was fast. Yeah. Anyway, sir, maraming salamat po sa presentation. I hope nagustuhan po ng ating mga nanonood. And especially to our students and trainees, to summarize yung presentation ni Sir Anthony. Bali, what he's basically saying is that sooner, the Oceanwide is planning to be the first training institution in the Philippines to deliver a full online STSW courses. Yan po yung mga training na kinukuha natin para ma-accredit tayo ni Marina and ma-accredit tayo para makasakay ng barko. Included na dito yung the basic training and after safety trainings. Ayun, tama po ba, Sir Anthony?
Yes, correct. Hopefully.
So, ayun.
Those are one of the pipelines yan. One of the plans.
Alright, maraming salamat, Sir Anthony. And for now, Sir Anthony, please be on standby. Hayaan po natin mag-present yung ating second speaker. And please, meron na po mga gandang question actually sa ating chat box or sa ating comment section. Pakitingnan na po, sir. And meron po na-specify actually sa inyo. Pero we will tackle that one later on. Now,
Sir Prime, I'd like to make a shout out to the Pawikan Divers kasi marami itong mga kaibigan ko dito mga divers na akala kasi nila diving to kasi nakalagay yung title mo, dive to maritime education. But shout out to them. Thank you.
sir. So shout out nga po sa mga Pawikan Divers and the title
and also
is
to Oceanwide, Hindi kayo narinig yung mga natin.
Sa lahat po ng taga Oceanwide
and Seaversity, of course.
Yes po, sir. Maraming salamat. Actually, shoutout po sa mga taga-Oceanwide na nasa gym ngayon and aiming for the goal of biggest loser. Kumusta po kayo dyan? Also sa mga taga-Seaversity and PCI na nagbabayat ngayon, ingat ka sa kalsada. Likewise, let's proceed to our second speaker, ladies and gentlemen. And as we welcome our second speaker, by the way before we proceed to our second speaker, let's do an icebreaker first. Sa icebreaker natin, this is the same as earlier. This will be a 4 picks, 1 word na laro. Let us show the image, ladies and gentlemen. All right. The image shows that it is an augmentation of the virtual objects onto real objects. Bale, this system is also being used on several industry, marketing. Burger King also use this kind of technology, and this 4 picks describes this type of software. Pati yung messenger po natin, yung mga filters sa Instagram also use this software. Likewise, you have 5 seconds to answer. Timer starts now. Once again, this image shows that this is the augmentation of the virtual objects onto real life objects. Alright, may mga sumagot na po ng tama. Tech team, please show the answer. And the correct answer is augmented reality. Alright, I think nag-i-enjoy yung ating mga viewers. Let's proceed to our second part the second question for our icebreaker. Alright, wow. This image is quite confusing, especially for the yellow guy. Likewise, what is the name of the popular game on which its animated franchise propelled an augmented reality into the mainstream in the recent years? Bale, ito yung sikat na laro na sumikat tong larong to several years ago wherein you see people looking at phones and habang naglalakad and it's like they're catching several 3D objects sa kalsada. You have 5 seconds to answer, ladies and gentlemen. Timer starts now. Likewise, what is the name of the popular game on which its animated franchise propelled augmented reality into the mainstream in the recent years? Ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer is Pokemon, or yung pinaka-exact na answer is actually Pokemon Go. Ayun, So I hope nabuhayan po tayo. Likewise, kung yung mga gustong manood, sa mga nanonood po sa atin, please pakitag yung mga school natin kung gusto niyo pong mapanood nila, and for them to get the service and products na offer ni Seaversity, especially that one that I showed you earlier, the Seaversity AR version to. Pakitagda lang po yung mga school natin kasi yung susunod na speaker natin, ladies and gentlemen, our second speaker is a dean and the head of the School of Maritime Affairs, Merchant Marine Department, Marine Engineering, and he himself is from the AIMS or Asian Institute of Maritime Studies itself. Today, he will tackle as well what AIMS has to offer to its students and what they plan on improving this year, 2021. Likewise, I would like everyone to stay tuned for more and hear valuable tips and student rapas from the expert himself, Dr. Omar C. Monzales. Magandang hapon po, sir.
Magandang gabi po, Sir Primo.
Yeah,
Naririnig po
gabi
ba
na
ako ng
pala.
maayos?
Yes. Of course, sir. Loud and clear. Ayun, sir.
Yes, sir.
Magandang hapon po. Asan ka ngayon, sir, by the way?
Sir, nakauwi na po ako, sir, ng bahay. Medyo early po kami nagko-close sa Ames at 6 a.m. So, nandito na po ako sa bahay. Maaga lang ako umuwi kanina.
Oh, nice, nice. But sir, tanong ko lang, before we proceed sa pinaka-concept, paano yung biyahe nyo from the morning until, ano yung pinaka-routine nyo? Starting from paggising nyo until makauwi kayo, considering that there is pandemic na nangyayari pa sa ngayon, ano yung pinaka-change na nangyari sa routine nyo dati and sa routine nyo ngayon na may pandemic and walang pandemic?
Oh, yes, sir. Masyado hong naging mabigat yung pamasahe, papasok. Kasi originally, I will just be commuting using the jeepney. Ngayon, kailangan hong mag-taxi. So, back and forth yun. So, dun medyo nagbago yung setup, and then nawala yung ibang mga programs, mga services na ina-avail namin. And we have a drastic change doon sa pasok at labas ng mga tao doon sa school namin. So sometimes our transaction are having difficulty, lalong-lalo na kapag biglang nagkaroon ng internet connection or kaya nagkaroon ng lockdown bigla doon sa Pasay or doon sa lugar namin. So sometimes our faculty who are required to attend out to perform, namin sila po pwedeng mapilit na pumasok. So yun yung malaking problema doon na happen namin ngayon.
So what you're basically saying, sir, is ever now and then, since na we cannot predict kung sino yung mga empleyado masakop ng lockdown sa kanya-kanyang barangay, is the AIMS is karaniwan is nagko-compromise or nag-a-adjust na rin mismo si AIMS sa mga faculty and staffs. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir. Actually,
Wow.
it was already foreseen by the management. So ang ginawa nila, inallow nila yung nagtatrabaho nga yung ilang mga faculty and staff namin online sa bahay nila, and those that has been identified na lalong-lalo na yung medyo later years nating mga kasama, so they are no longer allowed previously na bumiyahe. So we catered to their needs na instead na sila papasukin namin, so gaya lang namin ng paraan. So we train them to have their classes online, on how to improve their teaching on online, and especially on how they can interact with their students. Especially yung karamihan sa mga faculty namin is hindi sila sanay na ang kaharap nila is screen. Kasi dati ang kaharap nila is mga estudyante. Ngayon screen lang. So hindi nila alam kung yung estudyante ay nakikinig o hindi. So,
Alright. So I think masyadong marami kayong naranasan na panibago this school year. Likewise,
yes, sir.
I think let's now proceed sa pinaka-topic natin. Before we proceed sa topic natin, tanong ko lang, a brief overview or a general description yung ipapakita niyo sa amin ngayon.
Yes, sir. Basically, what I'm going to say, what I'm going to present is what the AIMS has done on the past year. In almost 2/3 ng aming school year ay naka-lockdown o kaya hindi kami makapasok. So what we have done in order to adapt with this new system, as well as what we are trying to configure right now on our institution para ngayon doon sa next generation namin, and also realigning our program with our strategic plan for the where tapos na yung 2020 but the aims 2020, but it's still on the roadmap of aims 25 years after our founding.
All right, maraming salamat sir. I think I'm very excited to see this one kung paano nag-adapt si Ames mismo, considering that Ames is very active in the maritime education and training industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, let me present to you Dr. Omar Gonzalez.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so magandang gabi po sa lahat po ng tagapakinig natin at sa mga nanonood. Basically, what I'm present right now is the collaboration that we had with Seaversity on the very start of our academic school year of 2020-2021. My name is Dr. Omar Simon Sales. I'm going to present what we had in our institution and how we had dealt with the new changes. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, so basically, when I sorry, next slide. I forgot to edit that. So basically, what we had suffered. Next slide, po. Yeah. So what we had suffered when the current situation occurred, which is nang pumasok yung pandemya on the Philippines. So way back in March. So the Philippines has heard, and basically the had mandated na magkaroon ng lockdown with regards to our classes, and students are no longer allowed to have an interaction or hindi sila pinapapasok sa school. So that became a very big problem on our part, especially since as you would know, the maritime industry is of course karamihan, lalong-lalo na sa marine engineering on our department, karamihan ng aming activities and our programs is anchored on skills based, wherein we need to have an interaction with the students or interaction with the equipment. So the problem then was there is a huge gap that we are not allowed to deal with or to tackle with. So uh, at the advent of this new change, on the impending change, so next, yeah, the aims at the helm is our dear president, our madam, okay, si Madam Arlene, has endorsed the shift. So that is what we did. The aims has initiated a shift program wherein our strategy has been shifted. Yeah, so that's the real status there. We had a shift program. So our shift program basically has been divided on 5 key areas. One of which is on our part, which is on our teaching learning. So on our teaching learning strategy, so our program has been developed on 2 key ideas, basically on our STEM and the AIMS ramp program. So I'm not at liberty to discuss all of this. Going to show to just identify what in an overview. So basically, our business continuity management plan, that is our BCM program, is identified as a program wherein our students were able to access their records, and also the students can interact with our staff for enrollment, for other concerns, kahit hindi sila sa Metro Manila. So our business continuity management program has included the opening of satellite offices, as well as we had also presented we have also invested heavily on online and simulated programs for our business continuity management plan. And on our part, on our teaching, is the learning continuity plan. So we're in that's what I'm going to discuss later on our learning continuity plan, on how we dealt with the change. Now, since our industry, the maritime industry, required to have an NSTP or an ROTC. So the AIMS has also developed a RAMP program, that is the Regimental and Academic Management Program, wherein we're strategizing and still initiate the discipline program even though we are already online. So yun yung overview ng aming program. So it was divided into multiple key areas of development, one of which is on our program, which is of course the administration, on the academics program. Okay, next please. So what the aims actually did is we have figured out how we can realign our program, because there is an existing CMO 67 2017, that is the Marine CHED standards. Then there is, next please. Then there's also the AIMS standard program. So our goal then is to find out if our program is aligned with the Marina CHED standards. And once we have figured out that our program is in line with them, because as I have mentioned a while ago, our program on our VMGO is actually en route for for our online classes. So we had just to reevaluate our course learning outcomes, which is on the department level, as well as next please, as well as the identification of what we need to do on a class level. That is our lesson plan outcomes, and lastly, of course, our next please, our specific course outcomes. So what we did basically is just to try and map everything, yeah, and make sure that our program is in line with the standards as set out by the Marina and the CHED. So once we have figured out the direction that we are aiming for, so we had to reevaluate a mapping program of our academics. Next slide, please. So our mapping, starting with the simplest means, is we have our course outcomes as stated by the industry, the CMO 67, and then we as the institute develop learning outcomes. Next, please. The learning outcomes is in for us to achieve the course outcomes, and then the learning outcomes requires what we refer to as the learning activity. Next slide, please. Learning activities and learning experience, and then we have the learning experience as well as and one more. Yeah. So we have our learning experience, and in our learning experience, there is an assessment activity and assessment criteria. So that is our original program. So on the face-to-face program, the before the lockdown, this is the simplest program there. However, when we geared up with the new normal, sorry, no, with the lockdown, we had realized that next slide, please. We have realized that our learning experience is composed of class lectures, which requires students to attend classrooms, and we have simulator activities that requires students to utilize our simulators, as well as, of course, our laboratory activities, which requires heavy machineries that can be found on our school, not on houses or on their places. So that is the biggest problem that we had. We have a straightforward approach to the course outcomes, but the problem then was, next slide please. The problem then was we have an existing program that never occurred, because our course outcomes, as I have mentioned, we have the learning outcomes. We have mapped our program with next slide. Yeah. Classroom lectures, and then there's also the simulator activities, and of course the laboratory activities. So all of these three requires specific strategies for assessment as per our standards. So we have exams and quizzes. We have, of course, for our simulator activities, we have assessment as well as with the laboratories. The problem is the culmination of our entire the teaching learning activity should gear up towards this program. Next slide, please. Yeah. So this is the entirety of our program, basically. However, with the advent of the COVID-19, we lost our classroom activity, we lost our simulator activities, we lost our laboratory activities, and with the loss of those three learning activities, we have also lost our capability or our uh, uh, our program for assessment. So this begs to us a question as how are we going to deal with this program right now? Because basically we have nothing. Okay, nawala yung aming capability to perform our teaching learning activities so that we can achieve the course outcomes. So that's what we did on the following programs that we did. So the aims strategize the program. Next slide, please. The aims strategize the program wherein uh, we have the classroom lecture again. So we have also the simulator. the laboratory activities, and all those assessment standards that has been placed in line with them. However, since there's no activity that we can perform on the classroom and the simulator and the laboratory activities, replaced the classroom lecture with next slide please, what we refer to as an online classroom. So that's what is the first step Ames did. So we had invested in an online classroom, and then we have acquired Seaversity with an app-based simulator which could augment our requirement for these applications for our simulator. Now, also for our laboratories, aside from the app-based simulator, we have also an online laboratory activities which has also been provided by Seaversity. And since there are still enough things that require face-to-face, we have identified those activities that requires face-to-face and provided a separate avenue for them. So nagkaroon kami, sir, ng division with online, of course, with our face-to-face. So our online classes has also been provided an assessment standard. Of course, our online has next please. So nagkaroon din kami ng online exams and quizzes. Now, our app-based simulator has also received an app-based assessment, and of course, our online laboratory activities has also received a strategy for online laboratory assessment. And pending na lamang po yung aming face-to-face laboratory activities once pinayagan na ng IATF and ng CHED na mag-perform ng face laboratory, then we can implement the new normal of the laboratory assessment. So basically, this is our answer. So the PIA has reduced us onto very basic. So the administration has come up with a program. So we did not actually scrap everything. We just try to figure out what is missing in our map. So once we have figured out what is missing in our map, we are just slowly trying to fill them out, and then we are internal and external requirements and external and internal na mga inputs doon sa aming organization can abide with the regulation and perform. And of course, next slide, please. So once we are able to perform program, the next step for our strategy is very simple. Next slide, please. What we just intend to do is to expound our learning experience because the program is already existing. Okay, so we have already figured out how we will be able to do it, and the next step for Ames is our learning experience. What are those next levels? So next slide, please. Yan. So ang next level po namin, kasi currently we are on the level 1 of our program, which is mapping out everything and trying to figure out what we are missing and what we can do. Now, on the level 2, what we are going to do basically is an integration of our online and face-to-face classes. Unfortunately, we are not as fortunate as with the other training centers that the Marina is allowing for the blended learning, but on the CHED kasi, hindi pa sila nagbibigay ng guidelines with regards to our face-to-face. So our next step is an integration of our online and face-to-face classes. So what we are aiming at for the next year basically is an integration. Since we already tried our online classes and we're going to perform the face-to-face, that would be our level 2. Now for our level 3 basically is we're going to expound library by creating an audio-video catalog wherein all of our face-to-face activity is going to be demonstrated by our faculty, and it's going to be recorded. And of course, those recordings will be included in our LMS and our catalogs for each learning activity or for learning assessment or the programs that is requiring specific activity or actions. So meron na doon ngayon. So magkakaroon kami ng isa pa, basically a cloud-based teaching learning activities. So we are also gearing up for a cloud-based program para ngayon kahit na yung estudyante namin ay not physically here on the Philippines, po pwede ho. And of course, our level 4, the level 4 ang target namin is dalawa. Okay, so although I cannot delve with it deeper, but what we're going to do is to have a blended learning and of course a multi-entry and multi-exit once we have already established our cloud-based teaching learning activity. So the next step for AIMS basically is we are going to level up our internal program for the learning experience. The level 2 is iteration ng aming existing na mga ginagawa for the level 1. The level 3 is creating more learning management programs through audio and video catalog. Ang plano po namin basically is kami na yung faculty and also the students, if po pwede yung estudyante, pero most probably the students wing and kami mga faculty kami yung magpe-perform ng mga laboratory activities, and it's going to be a state of the art program for our audio video catalog. And also we are tapping cloud-based programs for our simulators. And once na nakumpleto na namin yon, then we're going to have a blended learning activity so that we can have students coming from different parts of the world. And of course, next slide please. Ang next talaga, the very essence of what we are trying to do right now on our academics is basically an online classroom. Yan, kung saan our classroom can be on a finger touch sa cellphone by means of our program if magagawa na namin ito. And the multi-entry and multi-exit is it's going to be based on online. We have also conducted on how we can do this and how we will do this. And the institution is already gearing up by tapping into resources as well as personnel na matutulong sa amin para ngayon magawa ito na full online. And of course, dahil nga as I've mentioned, we are gearing up for the blended learning. So meron kaming itatalaga for the face-to-face. However, we're going to invest heavily on our online classes. So that's it. That's it. That's what we did with AIMS. Uh, Unfortunately, I cannot say that much na doon sa aming ginagawa ay kami lang ang gumagawa. Marami ang gumagawa nito. Marami na yung nag-a-adjust sa new normal. However, what I can say to our future seafarers, the future chief engineers and future captains of our industry, so the AIMS is still ongoing. Enrollment in classes and AIMS is going. We remain strong. We remain dedicated to catering to your needs. So nandito pa rin po kami. So we have invested heavily on trying to figure out how we can go with still intact, and we still can provide these skills and competencies needed by the industry. So tuloy pa rin po yung ating pag-aaral. Tulad nga po na sinabi ng first speaker natin ay tuloy po yung laban. Tuloy po. Kami rin po dito, hindi rin po kami tumitigil. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin po tayo. So yun lang po sa akin, Sir Primo. Thank you very much po.
Wow, that was a very good presentation. I think that presentation is supposed to sana I hope that presentation is naintindihan ng mga students natin, pero that presentation is supposed I think that fits really well for the educators na part, kasi considering that the presentation you have shown us basically or specifically what you have done sa 2020 until 2021, and yung ano pa yung plano nyo onward, sir, actually. Tama po ba, sir? And looking at
Yes, sir. Actually, it is.
Yes po. Sige, sir. Sige, sir.
It is
Sir po.
actually what is referred to by our management as the next 25 years. Next 25 years of AIMS, because AIMS is already is going to has already have our 25th anniversary. So ang target nun is the next 25 years. So yun ang gagawin namin. So I think that the management has planned it for the next 5 years na makumpleto po yung binanggit ko sa inyo.
Alright, maraming salamat po sa inyo, Dr. Omar. So basically, sir, what you did is diagnose po yung buong curriculum niyo. You overhauled it, you adapt, and then you survive. And as of this moment, after you survive, and as of this moment, may nagbabalak pa kayo na lumaban pa and to move forward further. So, hindi lang, I think the pandemic does not hinder does not hinder the institution or yung institution po ninyo na i-continue yung educational goal or yung mission and vision ni AIMS mismo. Tama po ba, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our management has identified this as we are nasa program na talaga ng AIMS ito. Nagkataon lang na yung current scenario natin, the pandemia forced our hand to move faster. So, yung program this is ongoing. However, we have identified na kailangan na 'to ngayon na. So for the next 5 years na program, hindi, gawin na natin ngayon. So yun po yung naging tugon po ng AIMS. It is still on our program, but we just had to do it much earlier than we are expecting.
Alright, sir. Maraming salamat po. I think before we proceed po sa question and answer natin kasi marami po na pong question. Meron na po mga questions na namumuo sa ating comment section and meron na po mga sinesend sa mga personal messages ng mga question. Before we go into that, ladies and gentlemen, let me share my screen first. Technical team. So ayun nga, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed sa ating last part ng ating segment, the Q&A portion, let me introduce once again the 2020-2021 vision ng our team, which is we want ito yung service and products na gusto namin i-deliver, in-provide sa lahat ng institutions, may it be a training institution or an educational institution ng mga schools, its uses, SUCs or HAIs. Ano ba yung mga products and services na yon? Some of which is digitized entrance examination, the automation and integration of the whole system sa loob ng mga schools, the learning management system, electronic training record book, immersive training assessments, and digital blockchains. Bali lahat ng po ito is being offered na po on several schools and institutions na po, including sa institutions na kinabibilangan ng ating dalawang speaker. And to explain further kung ano yung mga products and solutions na yon, some of which na tinutukoy nila as a modular ginamit nila on the modular approach for the online classes or for the distance learning is one is the learning management system that has been developed that our team or Seaversity is offering right now. And wherein our LMS is a learning management system that has been developed through a feasibility study by our team on the most applicable platform that several HAIs is now using. Likewise, it is ensured that the system shall be operational and compliant to the standards, and we have made reference as well to STCW and Marina itself. We have also made reference to practical teaching skills for maritime instructors by Sir Darrell Fisher and Peter Merhead, where the development led to the generation of associated online learning and material to support global outreach through distance education. We have also looked into the top international academy systems such as Lloyd Maritime Academy and made a comparative study to fully implement a system that has been proven and tested. And to fully ensure that delivery is carried out, an offline system is administered for learners with bandwidth challenges and currently in a testing phase. So they can download the mobile application, download the course, and go offline, but only report a task in a predefined time frame. The system shall be equipped as well with big data and analytics, where it will have an analytic learning curve, a user dynamic review, geolocation tracking capabilities, focus analysis of students, in real-time monitoring of users, and comparative analytics, system targeting. Along with the learning management system, we have also developed the walkthrough virtual of the Evergreen of the MV Evergreen, which is this engine room allows the students to have an actual view of the system, which requires no internet connection at all. It is being used for using the tablets and the cadets will be using. Our team also has developed a full walkthrough and interactive operational full-scale ship decks. This includes the operation of the mooring, anchoring, and even gangway operations, which are being developed with the help of several institutions such as PMA and is being validated by the institutions themselves. And with that statement, PMA is also being updated to be the first school in the Philippines to have the first virtual reality MC and ME engine with a marker point system, where any developments in the shipping industry, we can always adapt due to the diversity of the VR and scalable operations. And one of the straightforward goal is to have the electronic learning record book, which simultaneously connect to the learning platform by the learning platform, and is being utilized already by FastCat or Apsti. And alongside with this, we have also partnered with PCI Tech Center, and our team is the only our team is what you call is the sole reseller in the Philippines of Kongsberg products, as we provide the cloud simulations that will serve as a solution on the dilemma of practical exercises. Bali po, this product, this e-learning system of Kongsberg is cloud-based. So bale, yung mga simulations na ginagawa natin sa schools or sa training centers can be performed kahit na nasa bahay kayo, as long as may internet tayo. And since yung server niya is not cloud-based. And we believe that the process of learning with the usage of a simulated or artificial environment. And lastly, yung blockchain credentials nga po na gagamitin nga po ng PMA sooner or later for their graduates. Likewise, if you have any more concerns, please send us a message on Seaversity PH, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also, we're also going to provide contents on YouTube on several how-tos for the maritime professionals, or send us an email on info@Seaversity or that number on the screen, my corporate number. You can directly contact that one. Likewise, proceed na po tayo, ladies and gentlemen, sa ating Q&A. May I call on Mr. Anthony Sibilia and Dr. Omar? All right.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Sige po, sir. Bali po, Tech Team, please paki-flash naman ang first question natin. Alright. To Sir Sibilia from Ilocos MD Shop. I think Ilocos...
Pang Miss Universe na to?
I think Ilocos MD Shop is a supplier po siya ng supplier. I think this is a supplier ng medical supplies on various medical professionals nga po. So, the question is, how long did your institution, training institution, adapt to the blended learning? And how did you re-strategize or reorganize?
Yes. Of course, time is of essence. As soon as the Marina had the memorandum of circulars approved and presented to us within a month, kasi when it comes to this, it all boils down to time. Time is our enemy. Kapag tatagal-tagal ka dyan, wala talaga mangyayari. And we, at the same time, I have to be honest, we had to survive. So we have to look ways. So within a month, talaga, pabilisan yan. And of course, we have to restructure our IT team with the help of Seaversity, of course, and other supporting IT. And we had to strengthen our IT and our research and development group. We had to start with those two departments. So, siguro, within a month, wala tayong choice eh. Hindi pwedeng 2 months, 3 months, patay tayo dyan. So, within a month, we had to do it.
So, I think masyado pong, I think it was very abrupt on your part. Tama po ba,
Yes.
Sir Sibilia?
Yes. To be honest, it all we had to close down from March until, I think, August or September. So, ano yan? We had to brainstorm talaga. Pag hindi tayo kikilos, patay tayo lahat. Wala tayong makakain. So, yun nga, sabi ko, if you will not be pushed against the wall, then you will never do something. Sabi, kaya nga, kay Sir Omar, di ba? Their plan was, if I'm not mistaken, 5 years, or so they had to make it within the year. So, yeah, diskartihan lang yan. So, in our part, we had to strengthen our IT and the research and development group.
Sa inyo po ba, Sir Omar, how long did you adapt? Di ba, since na nakapagplano na kayo beforehand, gaano kabilis na implement agad-agad yung system? Agad-agad po ba, or it also took some time? Hello, sir? Rinig po ba ako, Sir Sibilia?
Yes, sir. Parang may problema sa
sige po, sir, since na nag-loading po tayo, Sir Omar, Kasi lang, may isa pa pong tanong ako sa inyo para galing sa ating comment section.
Parang pang Miss Universe to, sir, ah.
Ito, from Mr. Michael Angelo Tumbok. I don't know, I'm not sure if he's a cadet or a maritime professional already, pero the question is, do you encourage, sir, that other maritime institutions to do the same? Switching to the new normal, which is the online STCW course or such, and po. Kasi din, sir.
Yes, of course, most definitely. Yes, I would definitely encourage those other training centers and schools to do the same. And I know I think, in fact, they're even farther than us, but I do encourage our training centers and the schools to do the same. Kasi makakatulong to with our seafarers and we have to adapt. Kasi pag hindi tayo mag-adapt, sabi ko nga, patay tayo dyan. So, really had to do something about it. Had to adapt.
Sir, question ko lang dito is being on the realistic side. Maliban po
Yes.
sa with the concern of safety, health, and security due to the pandemic na dapat magkaroon tayo ng magkaroon ng online courses. I have heard some comments about this one na what if magkaroon nga po talaga ng online courses para magkaroon ng mas mahabang time yung seafarer sa pamilya nila during their vacation. Rather than nakabakasyon nga sila, pero they're spending at least 1/3 of their time sa training lang. Tama po ba yun, sir?
Yes, that's correct. Well, sabi ko nga, wala tayong magawa. It is what it is. So we have to adapt. Pag ganyan yung situation, mayroon talagang pros and cons yan. Kung hindi naman natin gagawin yan, paano yung manpower natin with the
Right, yes,
seafarer? Diba? So
Yes, sir.
really have to adapt. Wala tayong choice dyan. Wala tayong masasabi na pag online, ganito mangyayari sa mga seafarer na online ang education. Pag hindi naman natin gagawin yan, paano? How will we cope up? So, bawal dito ang bitter. Yung ampalaya, bawal yan. You have to do something about it. Now, in the long run, if may problema dyan, then we look for other solutions. Diba? We look for solutions, not for another problem. Thank you.
Ayun, sir. Likewise, Sir Omar, okay na po ba connection nyo?
Yes sir, okay na po ulit.
Ayun po, sir. Gusto ko lang sana itanong, balik po tayo sa question natin kanina. System, meron nga, sabi niyo, meron ako na initial na plano on how to implement such systems sa curriculum ninyo. My question is, agad-agad po ba yung na-implement ito or it also took some time yung implementation phase natin?
The implementation, sir, is actually, as I have mentioned nga, it is on plan. The management has already started the facilities or the equipment. So, binuboost na nila yung ICT previously before pa yung pandemya. However, nagkaroon lang ng abrupt change nga wherein nahirapan kami na i-convert yung lahat ng aming activities from the classroom to online. So, it took us about maybe 3 to 4 months bago kami makapag full conversion. And we have to really retrain our faculty. Kasi as in madugo yung training namin, retraining our faculty on how to perform their online classes. And the previous materials that they are using, we are struggling to convert them digital. So yun din yung naging downside no, naging problema no. Nahihirapan kami i-convert lahat digital. And siguro yung nung nagawa na namin yung initial na structuring and nagdagdag kami ng manpower para ngayon may convert na yung mga resources and references namin ng online. So siguro doon mas nagbilis ng konti yung pacing. So but initially sir, it took us about 3 to 4 months bago kami makapag-ratsyada talaga. Nung initial talaga as in halos yung mga faculty namin is nangangapa na hindi naman kung paano nila gagawin yung dapat nilang gagawin. And the students were also asking, papaano naman kami? Yan, so yun ho yung naging problema namin on the start. But when we got a hold of it, so nakuha na namin kung ano yung naging problema, then we were able to learn from our mistakes and our shortcomings, and then we have to come up with a newer and better strategy for that.
Sir, follow-up question with that na binigay ko kanina. Since na-mention nyo na medyo there was madugong training for the and training sa mga teachers natin, what would you advise sa mga teachers natin na hindi nagkaroon ng majority ng teachers natin did have a proper training on how to implement the new normal, especially in the education, And since there is really an abrupt change from education 3.0, the face-to-face traditional education, from education 4.2 to education 4.0, what would you advise the other teachers na just had enough, hindi po yung tulad sa inyo nga po na sa amin na nagmadugong training, what would you advise sa ibang teachers po, sir?
Yes, sir. The same advice that I gave to my faculty, wherein as I always said to my faculty, try to look at it as hindi siya yung problem, but rather an opportunity for you to a more avenue for your teaching. Kasi sabi ko nga sa mga faculty ko, what I'm just trying to do is converting what your experience is into online. Yun lang. Sabi ko, ako nandiyan na yung background ninyo. What I'm just trying to teach you is how to deliver what you have already incurred in your years of experience in teaching, na gagawin lang natin siya online. Yun lang. And then yung sa mga hindi pa ho na nakakasubok, sabi ko nga doon sa mga faculty na yon, sabi, when you start something na nahihirapan ka, that is good. That means you are growing. So ang hindi lang maganda yung ayaw mo nang matuto, then you would be stuck in the past. So we are moving forward, whether you are with us or not, it's up to you. But if you are with us, then we can help you train and we can help you grow. Yun, so ganun po yung sinasabi ko sa kanila. The same din sa ibang mga maritime professional, ganun din po yung sasabihin ko. It's an avenue for us to grow and to be better.
Sige sir, maraming salamat po for that statement. That was a very wonderful message. Sana matake note po ng lahat ng educators natin. Yes, I use the word educator since na hindi lang po ito limited sa mga teachers natin or faculty. Lahat tayo can be educators, depende kung paano natin gagawin yon. Pero my next question, pero later may follow-up question ako for Sir Sibilia and Sir Omar. Pero let's answer the question muna from Miss Ana May Valles. Bali, for Sir Sibilia, how was the partnership between Oceanwide Maritime Services and Seaversity? And how did it enrich its other services po?
Yes, it did help us a lot. It was during those times na yun nga, nag-lockdown na, nagka-problema na tayo, and we had to develop our online courses. So buti na lang Seaversity was there for us. So marami talagang tulong yan. Eka nga, sabi ko kanina, strategy, yung tanong, sino ba yung nagtanong doon? Regarding sa strategy. So yun nga, strengthen IT, then research and development. Kasabay ang dalawa eh. Tapos, yun nga kay Sir Omar, yung problema din na encounter rin namin dyan. Okay na tayo sa technology. How about our teachers, our instructors, our students? Naku, patay. Sir, paano ma-access? Hala, technical support. Akala namin sa instructor lang, pati pa na si students.
Yes.
So, yun, mga challenges talaga. So,
Balik
we are a living testament of this COVID pandemic. Living testament po tayo, na survivor po tayo. All of us here.
Alright. Bali, ladies and gentlemen pala, si Sir Anthony is a president nga po ng isang training center. And si Dr. Omar naman po is a representative from a school from Pasay. Bali po sa Ames and from Oceanwide. So ayun nga po, sa inyo naman po Sir Omar, kumusta naman po, paano po kami nakatulong sa inyo essentially? Same question kay Sir Anthony.
With regards sa amin po, kasi the difference with the training center and of course the school is may mga estudyante kami na underage, and may mga estudyante kami basically that are in the Metro Manila wherein nag-lockdown nga, and then we have the difficulty in programming our laboratory activities, and siyempre may mga requirements na mga familiarization or the hands-on with our facilities or our equipment na yung mga parents nila is kumokontra, ayaw nilang papuntahin yung mga estudyante doon sa school because of the fear nga of the pandemya. Even though payagan sila ng kanilang LGU, hindi rin sila makakabiyahe. So that was our biggest problem. So when Seaversity came in, so yung Seaversity took over some of our needs. Okay, so tulad ng familiarization, wherein the students no longer need to go on our site para ngayon ma-familiarize nila yung mga parts with the equipment or the machineries that is required for the particular course. So instead of the students being asked na pumunta kayo rito and then go to the numerous process para kayo ay makabiyahe and then makarating dito. So ang ginawa na lang namin is sinasabi sa bata, okay, let us log into the Seaversity account and then view this, and then we're just guiding them on how to interpret it, and then they are doing it by themselves, and then once na natutunan sila kung paano yun gagawin, they can do it by themselves. The advantage of it is the students is in the safety of their homes, na hindi sila kailangan bumiyahe, but still they are receiving the needed immersion with the facilities and equipment na napo-provide ngayon with the help of Seaversity. So yun po yung naging great advantage and great help na nagay po sa amin ng Seaversity.
Ayun po sir, maraming salamat po sa inyo. Actually sir, magpasalamat din ako sa AIMS and sa Oceanwide, since na yung mga request po ninyo, those validation, those reviews na pinigay nyo sa amin, that we utilize as a rather a positive response for us to develop our products and services more para mag-improve po kami, was a great help on our side. Pero let's not be emotional about that. Pero meron lang po isang a bit political topic na natanong sa akin during my last guesting or webinar on another institution. Sabi sa akin, Sir Engineer Primo, do you believe in academic freeze? Ngayon sir, ibabato ko naman sa inyo yung question na yan. I would like, since na Sir Anthony is a lot of things, a surveyor, an inspector, he is also taking up Masters in Maritime Education training sa Philippine Merchant Marine Academy. Sir Omar is a STEAM expert as well. So I would like to get your perspective po sa topic na to. I would like to start first kay Sir Anthony. Sir Anthony, do you believe in academic freeze po? Sir, nakamute ka, sir. Ayan.
Excuse me, ano yun? Sorry.
But sir, the question lang is, do you believe in academic freeze? Is there an instance na tumitigil yung education?
Chappy, sorry. Naputol yung, saglit ha.
Sige lang po, sir.
Pakiulit, Sir Prime. Sorry.
Ayun
So
po.
I believe in...
Ayun,
Yes,
sir.
go ahead.
The question is, do you believe in academic freeze?
Academic freeze.
Yes po.
Well, that's a very tough to, kasi may mga political issues din dyan, but...
This will be on your separate, isolated perspective lang naman, sir.
Well, I think, tawa na si Sir Omar. I believe in academic freedom, but academic freeze, parang dyan gray areas yan.
Actually po sa akin, sir, I answered na I do not believe in academic freeze, since na looking back sa history ng education, there is a certain line, when looking at the Wikipedia or doon sa mismo description ng education, that education is just basically a transfer of information. So, regardless kung magkaroon man ng pandemic, as long as there's a transfer of information, that's basically education. Pero, Sir Omar, ano po yung stand niyo sa topic na to?
Tulad din po ng actually we have the same question then sa ko. Our learning will not stop. So nagkakaroon lang tayo ngayon ng ibang venue na lang ng learning. But so long as we have people who are willing to teach, who are willing to share the experiences and knowledge, magkakaroon pa rin po talaga tayo ng pag-aaral or education. So I don't believe na magkakaroon po tayo ng ganon, and I do hope na hindi talaga magkaroon ng ganon, kahit nasabihin natin na magkaroon tayo ng mas malala pa sa sitwasyon natin na pandemya ngayon. But I don't believe, sir, that would happen, especially for us in the maritime sector, kasi madami po na mga naninindigan na matuto pa rin yung mga bata natin, and of course marami yung mga nag-spearhead ng mga personnel tulad ng Seaversity, tulad ng Oceanwide, and tulad ng AIMS, natutuloy pa rin talaga. So nandun pa rin yung drive to strive for excellence. Yun po yung sa akin.
Alright, maraming salamat po. Any last po sa Sir Anthony about
yes, I think Sir Omar is correct also. Nag-shift lang tayo ng ibang avenue. Education will always continue. Although, yun nga, may mga setbacks tayo ngayon because of the virus. But if not because of this virus, we would not realize online training, di ba? So sabi nga kay Sir Omar, napabilis tuloy. I think despite the negative na nangyayari ngayon, positive na, nakakatakot positive eh. May mga positive naman na nangyayari. because of this pandemic, we will not realize the importance, the essence of online training, online learning. Yes.
Ayun po,
Thank
Sir
you.
Anthony, maraming salamat po. Sige po, sir, I think it is now for the last question na lang po, sir, or last request from both of you, from Sir Anthony and Sir Omar. Bali po, unahin ko na po sa Sir Anthony. Sir Anthony, do you have any encouraging message to our maritime professionals who are struggling to adapt to these kinds of changes, especially to those who are struggling to keep up with their technological advancements? I think mas proper kung yung question sa iyo, sir, mas proper dito na i-target po na sa inyo, Sir Anthony, is since you're a president of Oceanwide, I think the proper question for you on this one is, ano po yung ma-advise nyo sa ibang decision makers sa training centers? Paano sila mag-adapt? And bakit kailangan nila mag-adapt? Is it solely for them or para sa mga marinong, sa mga kliyente na nila sa mga marino? Ano po yung ma-suggest ninyo sa ating mga decision makers sa maritime education and training sector?
First advice would be we have to listen to our stakeholders. Yung pinaka end receiver po natin. That's the very very basic po yan. Alam na po natin yan. Sometimes we just tend to forget because sometimes we tend to use more of our parang kumbaga self judgment, tawag niyan, self decision, our own decision of what we think is best for them. We fail to realize na yung pinaka-end receiver, our stakeholders, our clients, everybody who is involved in the process. The end receiver talaga. You try to listen to them, and of course, with the guidance of the current events, makikita mo yan. So that's why itong e-learning, of course, we anticipated, but we never realized at the time, uy, ito na pala. Parang natulog tayo ng March, diba? Pagising natin, uy, another March para, February pa pala eh. So, yan nga sabi ko. We listen to our end receiver, to our clients especially.
Ayun po, maraming salamat, Sir Anthony. Yes po.
Okay.
So kay Sir Omar naman, same question pero sa different target. Since reading your biography and your yung background po ninyo. Ano po naman po yung ma-advise nyo sa ating maritime professionals, sa mga nagbabarko, sa ating mga seaman, sa ating mga students, and especially doon po sa nasa management level ng mga institutions na nag-guide sa ating mga faculty, staffs, and personnel towards this pandemic, paano sila makapag-adapt? Ano po yung ma-advise nyo sa ating mga function heads, sa ating mga deans and other decision makers sa schools po naman?
Yes, the same din po kay Sir Anthony na yung end users po namin ng amin pong pinakikinggan. Basically, so we have the difference lamang namin is yung client sa newcomers sa industry. So the same ang ibibigay ko sa inyong sagot. Yung sagot na ibinigay sa akin nung isa kong estudyante. Sabi niya, Sir, pangarap ko po na magbarko. Pangarap ko maging seafarer. So, pipigil sa akin kahit na mahirapan po ako dahil yun po yung pangarap ko. Ngayon, ang sabi ko naman sa kanya, nandyan yung pangarap mo. Nandito kami.
Pero sir, parang yes, medyo mahina lang yung signal.
To figure out
yes,
is how we can help one another.
Hello, Sir Omar.
Yes sir, medyo nawalan ata ako ng signal. But anyway, ang sabi lang po ng kasama ko is kahit na nahihirapan tayo, so long as sama-sama tayo, tulong-tulong, makakaraos din tayo. Malalagay.
Ayun, so I think na-disconnect lang po sa si Sir Omar. Pero, Sir Anthony, how about you? Any last words? And if meron ka pong gustong batiin from our Oceanwide family, especially those na nasa gym ngayon?
Yes, yung nasa gym. Yung mga Oceanwide staff ko dyan kasi may biggest loser kami. Last year, December. Between we started July to December, biggest loser. Ngayon, parang may goal na talaga sila eh. Silang lahat, patay tayo dyan. So, nag-enroll sila sa gym. Parang sa fitness, anong gym ba yun?
Fitness first,
Nandun sila.
probably.
Shout out to my staff there. Lahat ata sila nag-gym ngayon. Pati sa Oceanwide Manila and Ocean Skipper, Oceanwide Surveys, kay Ma'am May, Captain Greg Sevilla, kay Madam Karina. Sino po ba? Makakalimutan ko dyan. So, shout out to my wife, Ninya, and to our team, the rest of the team. Sino po ba makakalimutan ko dyan? Pasensya na po.
Si Ma'am Side po, sir, sila lang daw, sir. Sabi ni Ma'am
Sila
Side.
sa ini. Andun, nag-gym nata.
Ayun po.
Goal sila eh. Gusto nilang manalo sa Biggest loser.
Ayun po. Sir Omar, you're back.
Sir Omar.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Medyo nakawalan lang tayo na. Kami minsan
Anyway,
dito
sir.
ng internet connection.
Pwede po, sir, pagkatapos po ng statement ninyo, sir, I would really love to hear that statement about that student na gusto niyo taga-makasay ng Marto.
Yes, sir. As I have mentioned, as I have said, sabi ko sa kanya, nandiyan yung pangarap mo. Gusto mong marating yung pangarap mo. Sabi ko, ako, nandito rin kami. Gusto ka naming tulungan. So ngayon, we're trying to figure out our goals together. So yun ang sinabi ko sa kanya. Sabi ko, magtutulungan tayo. So sabihin mo sa akin kung ano yung magiging problema mo, saan ka nahihirapan, and then sasabihin din namin sa inyo kung saan kami nahihirapan so that we can work it out. Kasi nga, as I have explained to one of my students then, sabi ng isang estudyante, sir, bakit po yung professor ko ay nahihirapan po kami, hindi po namin maka-interact ng maigi sa klase. Sabi ko ako, iho, sabi ko, yung faculty mo is over 60 years old already. Sabi ko, hindi kinakatulad mo. So be patient with him so that you can also learn from him. Sabi ko nga, let us work together. Let us rise from this. So with the students, the faculty, the administration, and the industry together. So we heal as one, sabi ko sa kanya. So ganun po, sabi ko, magtutulong-tulungan lang tayo.
Ayan po, maraming salamat po, Sir Omar. Medyo natawa ako sa part na yun. Pero dyan, the same as Sir Anthony and Sir Omar, Seaversity is also here to provide support, not just on training institutions and HEIs and SUCs or our mga colleges and schools. We're here to provide solutions as well or assistance for the mga students. Kasi sabi nga ni Dr. Rizal, kabataan ng ating kinabukasan. Kaya we're here. Okay. We're here to support them. Likewise, Sir Omar, probably meron po any last words or gustong batiin sa ating from the Ames family. Ma'am Joy Garner, magandang hapon po sa inyo. Magandang gabi po, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. Sa inyo kayo po, Sir Omar.
Actually, hindi ko na kailangan na magbati-bati. So, alam na rin naman po nila yun. So, but anyway, marami pong salamat sa pag-invite sa amin. And of course, binabati ko na lamang yung lahat po ng tagapakinig natin, sa lahat po ng future seafarers po. And then, ito nga, may nagpabati, happy birthday daw po, Sir Prime.
Uy, birthday mo pala, Sir Prime, ha?
Ano yan, sir? Belated birthday na yan, sir.
Belated na pala.
Yan, sir. Ayan, sir. Likewise, sir, I think it is now safe to conclude. May gusto pa ba kayo sabihin, sir? Okay na po tayo.
Okay na po ako, sir.
Alright.
One more thing.
Sige, Sir Anthony.
Isa lang hindi apektado sa natin dito eh. Lahat apektado ng COVID. There's only one thing. It is hope. Yan. Pag nakuha yan ng COVID, patay tayo lahat dyan. So hope, as long as there is hope, walang yan. Hindi makakaano si COVID yan. As long as there is hope for better tomorrow, and everything will be good.
Yes po, sir. Laban lang, sir. Tiwala lang.
Laban lang.
Yes,
kahit
sir.
walang forever.
Anyways, I think it is now safe to conclude. Ladies and gentlemen, maraming salamat po. And we would like to personally thank Mr. Anthony Sevilla and Dr. Omar C. Gonzalez for joining us during tonight's webinar. A big thank you as well to all of you who have actively participated in tonight's session. Comment down below what topics you want us to take or to tackle for our future webinars, ladies and gentlemen, para sa mga audience natin. May comment na lang po yung mga topics na gusto nyo po usapan natin sa ating future webinars. We will try to gather as many professionals na pwedeng mag-discuss ng topics na yon. Likewise, that wraps up our evening. We hope that you've learned a lot from us tonight. It was a pleasure to host this webinar and we wish you all a pleasant evening. Remember to stay at home, ladies and gentlemen. Keep safe and practice good hygiene. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Throughout the centuries, maritime trade has been the largest contributing factor to the economic growth of the nations of the world. For hundreds of years, seafaring peoples such as the Polynesians, Arabs, Indo-Malays, and the Chinese have crossed the seas in search of new lands to establish trade with, as well as create new settlements for their people. The arrival of the Europeans in Asia contributed greatly to the expansion of maritime trade, bringing with them the larger seaborne vessels and the highly disciplined merchant marine. Until today, both developed and developing countries in the world rely heavily on a highly skilled merchant marine alongside an efficiently managed maritime trade. Over 85% of global trade is carried by sea, and the demand for highly skilled and disciplined merchant sailors and officers continues to soar as merchant fleets expand to meet the ever-rising needs of the world to carry its trade. In light of the world's growing need for qualified maritime personnel, the Asian Institute of Maritime Studies, or AIMS, was chartered on August 13, 1993. From its humble beginnings under the dynamic leadership of its founder, Captain Wilihado Apwid, AIMS has steadily gained repute as one of the country's leading maritime colleges. Alongside an academic staff of 13 educators and merchant marine officers, Captain Abwid chartered the course of AIMS with the vision of expanding and enhancing maritime services. Since then, AIMS has expanded to accommodate over 2,000 students, including some who hail from distant shores. Both Filipino and foreign students alike benefit from the close and caring guidance and tutelage of a larger faculty and support personnel, staffed with highly qualified and capable instructors. AIMS began its mission by adopting a strong values-based curriculum, as well as developing courses and training programs highly relevant to the maritime trade industry. The academic programs accredited by the Commission on Higher Education includes BS Marine Transportation, BS Marine Engineering, BS Customs Administration, BS Computer Science, BS Business Administration with majors in Marketing and Maritime Management, Hotel and Restaurant Services.
Our Center for Advanced Studies offers a Master in Maritime Administration with specializations in Maritime Education, Training and Certification, Shipboard Administration, Shipping and Ship Manning Business, Port Safety and Environmental Protection, and Logistics, Customs and Tariff Administration.
The success of AIMS in providing quality education is reflected in the fact that the majority of its graduates consistently achieve high ratings in the professional examinations every year. As dynamic as its founder, AIMS is steadily upgrading its facilities and acquiring new equipment and technology to provide hands-on training that improve the knowledge and skills of its constituents. Over the years, AIMS has risen to the forefront among maritime educational institutions, constantly revitalizing and updating its academic programs and setting higher goals and standards for the maritime industry to follow. As an indication of its adherence to its commitment to excellence and quality education, AIMS has been awarded a Quality System Certification of ISO 9001-2000 standards by the prestigious American Bureau of Shipping.
What if I tell you that KSIM Connect has become a reality? It is the cloud-based ecosystem for maritime education and training, where Kongsberg provides simulation and services to all members. As an instructor, my main goal is to educate and train seafarers to acquire skills promoting safety, sustainability, and efficiency at sea. At KSIM Connect, I can efficiently manage my simulators, my exercises, and my students. In the exercise archive, I can store my library of exercises, and if I want, collaborate and share them with my colleagues or others in the global community. KSIM Connect enables me to give students access to cloud simulation, so they can train anytime and anywhere while learning at their own pace. In addition, I can explore the library of models and exercise areas, download or subscribe those that fit the learning objectives. And I can even order spare parts or a service visit if needed. Kongsberg has started to create the future of maritime education and training by creating the community where instructors can find news, explore and download available simulator models, distribute or share exercises that fit the curriculum. Imagine using KSIM Connect to integrate our simulators in the same virtual exercise environment, enabling students to train and interact together. It doesn't matter whether you're in Singapore, Australia, or in the United States. As long as you're online, you are part of the knowledge-sharing community. Kongsberg is shaping the future of maritime education and training by creating the community. Let's continue building this community together for the benefit of ourselves and the entire maritime training industry. Join KSIM Connect today.